Alright, hello everyone. I'm Vignesh Vedanta, and this is Anurag, and we're the EAC representative for Duke's EWH, or Engineering World Health Chapter. So a little bit about us. EWH is a national organization that was created by our very own Dr. Malkin, and the purpose of our organization is to develop and provide medical technology for the developing world, and also to expose students to global health issues. So a little bit about who we are as a chapter.
So our presidents are Tiffany Dong and Brian Hune. Vice presidents are myself and Katie Gelman. Treasurer is my co-presenter, Vignesh Vedanta. And our current project managers are Bianca Brat and Yitek Wong. Our composition is mostly freshmen with several seniors to provide expertise. And we feel that this is good for the future of the club in the long run.
Okay, so a little outline of what we do annually in our chapter. So we work on 2 design projects, which we ultimately try and submit to the national EWH design competition. We also try and have maybe 1 or 2 guest speakers each year. Like last year, we had a guest speaker from GE speak to an audience of EWH and non-EWH members, so we keep it open. And we also have a summer trip each year to the National Hospital in Xela, Guatemala. It's usually a 1-week trip, but this year we're trying to make it 2 weeks.
So every year we participate in a design competition that the National Engineering World Health Organization provides. And the incentive for participating in this is a $3,000 first place prize, and also an immense amount of design experience for our freshmen and underclassmen. Last year, one of our design projects was an audiometer to detect hearing loss. And the problem that we identified was that most commercial audiometers were $750 to almost $1,000. So we implemented an Arduino-based 18 mega 328 microcontroller circuit that would have the same features, but would be significantly less, about $30 or so.
And the other project we worked on last year, which is also a continuation onto this year, is a project to create a low-cost standardized way of diagnosing plantar neuropathy, which results in nerve damage. So what we spent last year doing was mostly research and testing different ways of approaching the problem. And this year we're honing on one way of doing it and creating a prototype.
Our second project this year is the patient-nurse communication system. And this was developed over summer in Tanzania for the Engineering World Health Summer Institute. What this basically does is allow for ICU nurses and patients to communicate. And we want to make a prototype for mass production. What we need to do is reduce the size, add wireless capabilities, and overall reduce the cost of the project. Also, every year we have a trip to Xela, Guatemala, so where we go to the National Hospital and work with a biomedical technician to repair and service medical instruments that the hospital needs fixing. This is really important for cultural immersion and for a design application, like that students can practice what they learned over the year, can test their skills on medical instrumentation repair.
Okay, so a brief timeline of what's going to go on throughout the year. From August to October, we've spent doing introductions, giving workshops to incoming students, to give them basic skills that they may not have learned like in the first semester. From now until around January and February, we're planning on making our first prototype and testing it out for each of the design projects. And then hopefully by March and April, we'll have all that done, and we'll just be making minor modifications and submitting design proposals to EWH. And then around mid-May, end of May, we'll have our annual trip to Xela, Guatemala. So this is roughly how our budget looks like each year. Just to point out some target areas for us, design parts usually go around, we usually allocate $600, and that's something we'll be needing very shortly. Our biggest expense is the trip to Guatemala, which is going to be roughly $3,500. And then also a bigger cost is $1,000 for kit builds, which are national EWH approved designs that we built here and we sent to developing countries. So what we're formally requesting is $3,500. The purpose for which is going to be for design parts for competition and also for the trip. The trip is going to be a bigger issue because we're planning on having more than 5 people go this time around so that more of the club can be involved in the experience, and also expanding the trip from 1 to 2 weeks. We feel like people will benefit more from the longer experience. Other sources of funding we've been pursuing include ESG, which we've already received like $900 from them, and also we try and get money from engineering companies. Like last year, we got a one-time $1,000 fund from GE for the trip, but that's not always a guarantee. So we allot the remainder of our time for some questions.
Have any of your design projects already been implemented in some of your third world countries?
So we've been pretty dry on that for the last few years. I believe the last project that we actually had place in the competition was roughly 4 years ago. So not exactly sure what happened in the past like 2-3 years, but we're hoping to change that, especially with the communication system project.
How involved is Dr. Malkin with the club? Because I know he's doing work all over the
Yeah,
place.
so Dr. Malkin is a very busy person, but he's very open to communicating with us. Whenever we need advice on our projects, we go to him. Whenever we need advice on funding, especially, he's very receptive to that. So, I mean, he's pretty open to advising EWH, and he's pretty committed to that.
All right. Thanks very much.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.